Good morning, everybody. This is pretty early on a Tuesday morning. I am so overwhelmed by everything that's going on. It's not anything major right now. I shouldn't say right now. There's not anything like major. It's the collection of a bunch of small things. So while I'm talking and checking in, let me close this Zoom room thing down. I do want to. I don't think I made a second video for yesterday. I do want to post yesterday's video, even though I totally forgot what it was about. I'm just going to call it check-in Monday after Thanksgiving 2023, and then it'll go under check-ins. And I'm sure there were some more topics that I had. Let's see. So yesterday was the 27th, right? So I missed all the sales. I am really depressed about it. And my partner was telling me that he just kept looking at me on Facebook, said Facebook caused depression. I felt depressed looking at Facebook. So a lot of things I found out about certain things. I got requirements from my midwifery. Got a little bit of, finding out about certain state rules for my medical license. I found out about a bunch of changes and stuff, about certain meetings that take place where you find out about a bunch of changes that it's not like at least I don't think they are sending us mass emails to all licensees saying, hey, there's big changes in your licensure, and there's something that came to our attention in the fine print. So I'm really, maybe spending too much time doing that, but I'm like a stickler for knowing the rules and knowing what's going on where. I was supposed to do, let me check my, 2023. I was supposed to do a phone call with somebody who's a birth worker. Let me see if they got to me on Messenger. Nope. And we did exchange phone numbers too. So this person scheduled a time or something. What happened? I thought we scheduled a time a few weeks ago to meet, and I don't know what happened. It didn't happen, obviously, but. And then I had another birth worker that was looking for a sub, and I was like, I'm available. And then I saw on Facebook that they were at the birth. And I was just like, you know what, these people, and they're like, oh, sorry, I was taking a nap. I'm like, I'm not going to contact you again. So I'm taking a nap, and I look at my phone, and I see, oh, wait, look what time it is. I'm supposed to contact someone. And I text them back. I usually, if I was getting ready to go to a birth, that's just me. I feel like I would go back to sleep if I could, or at least rest if I could. I hope my partner didn't need these glasses. God. Alright, so let's see how much of this I need to rearrange. I have a check-in on some, even though I didn't do any Black Friday or Cyber Monday shopping, I have a bunch of insurance bills that are going through, and it makes me pretty mad because I'm not doing my notary business or my loan signing business right now, and I am blowing so much money on insurance, and I hate it. I'm not driving my car, and I'm blowing money on insurance. It's so hard to, I just need a pause from everything. It's just not right to be insured, to the extent where you don't need to be, you need, a break insurance. I'm out. If you're out of the country, it's still, obviously, if you have your house and your car, you still want it insured, but you want it at a lower rate because you're A, you're not driving, or B, you're not doing the work for that. Anyways, I have to figure that out. That's my fault. So yesterday, I got you guys a video, and I was telling you guys, hey, people get mad when you use the word guys. I just use that as a gender neutral, even though that's how I use it. So, you people, somebody's animals could be watching this video. So many emails I told you all about and texts. It was really overwhelming because I don't have any money right now. And anything that I buy that's food and water and insurance and bills and licensing fees, it's all going on the credit card. So I had to plow through my work. And yesterday, did not result in that, and I did wait till later to do the video because I did a mental health intake for about 1 hour on Monday yesterday, or check-in, wait in line kind of thing, and then it was around 9, from like 8:50 something to 9 something. I was doing continuing the intake until 9:30. So 8 to 9:30, I did the intake process, the first part of it, and then part 2 I had to do with the intake person, and that was at 10:30 to 11:35 ish. And then I needed to do my language, and they told me to wait. Someone was going to call me yesterday, so I was waiting by my phone all day. And I was like, no, I was going to make phone calls and do a bunch of stuff. And my partner was supposed to come home from work at a certain time. We kind of estimated. So I was like super nervous, and I didn't contact my friend to say happy Thanksgiving. So I ended up just going, I'm just going to call this person because I'm not even just going to text anymore. My phone disconnected, and I told my partner, like, something's weird with my phone, and let me make sure I turn the Wi-Fi back on. And he's like, let's go walk to the counseling center. I said, I don't really want to walk. I said, he showed it on a map. I said, oh, okay, because there's 2 Talbot lanes, or 1 Talbot lane, 1 Talbot street, I think. Street or avenue, but one's a lane. Because I was like, wait, one's by the Art Academy. We're going to rent a house there. But it was like, what was it, $1,600 for kind of a small little house. And it was next to the Art Academy of Art. Is super loud outside. I don't know what's up with their HVAC, but it is so loud. I don't know if it's just their air conditioner. There's Tidewater Inn is super loud too. When you go outside, most of the time their fans and stuff are on, and they're so loud. And then when it's quiet right out here, once in a while it's quiet, and it's like, wow. Breathe. Watch the clouds float across the sky. Watch the birds, because those kind of loud noises, like some people that have autism, it's just like the neurodivergent. Like, it's giving me anxieties, and I blame it all on certain people, which I do have issues. I have received 0 donations. I'm going to move this midwifery. So yeah, I'm not getting a lot done, and I didn't get a lot done when I did this whole thing like 6 months ago when I was getting ready to do my trip. And it just turned into, like, I had a bunch of medical appointments spread out over the course of 2 months, and I had to like cram them into this month or November or January, and I had a phone call. I missed a bunch of phone calls from my healthcare providers about eye exam. They changed that one. About physical therapy, they said I was coming today, which I didn't know if I didn't have my messages. I would have. When your phone is not working and someone calls, you don't see it as a missed call. I think the same thing happens when your phone's off. So if your messages are full, you don't even know they called. So I'm glad I got the reminder, because it said tomorrow at 3. I was like, what? And I had called my primary care office twice, because I asked for a referral for this place called Tidewater, and they put it for another place that I don't go to anymore, because I canceled my appointment twice in like a year because of COVID or COVID symptoms. And they never rescheduled me, and I still had appointments left for my insurance would say, like, you have 6 more remaining. I still had appointments left, like a month worth of appointments. I was really mad about that. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't reschedule. You have to go on a wait list. I'm like, what? during COVID, and even if I had some symptoms, I was super nauseous. I was like, you get nauseous sometimes and super dizzy, and you're like, feel like if you had to get up and be to run to the restroom, and so getting out, walking to your car, walking a block to your car, and driving across town, and then standing up doing things on your one leg for an hour did not seem smart to me. Like, God help me, like, I wouldn't even want to go if I just had a stomachache and didn't feel nauseous, or I wouldn't want to go during COVID if I had a cough or sniffles or anything, whether I test positive or not. You know what I mean? That's just me, though. And that's what sucks is I think that was 2 years ago. I'm still overwhelmed by that. And I did make some good choices during COVID to not see certain groups of people. And I ended up testing positive. It was hard to get the test in 2021? Anyways, I got on a big tangent. So yeah, I missed a bunch of calls. We ended up walking to the counseling place, even though my knee was hurting. And I was like super anxious about this process and about getting a provider. And I don't like clinics. I don't like medical facilities. I don't like telling my story. But it's like getting treated for sepsis or for, MRSA or something. You feel like, I don't like it, but I feel I have to do it. Like, and that's what I don't like. I mean, that could be my own stigma. I mean, my mind's like, you got to get the treatment, just like you got to figure out how to get the dental. I'm having a real hard time with that, too. So this is Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I'm on Facebook last night. I had realized or remembered that I had a committee meeting at 8. They used to be at 5, which 5 is manageable because you can do your daily activities, do the walking before it gets dark, or depending on the time of the year, get to the post office, do all the morning things, and still be available for the 6 o'clock Mondays appointments that we have, and all the other things you could get out there to be done for your day. Not be done, but like be done with your appointments and, do what needs to be done. Which reminds me, I didn't get my tea ready. So it was really hard to switch to 8, and only half of us were there, which was kind of weird. It's like Monday after a holiday weekend. I don't know. I think that's kind of an iffy time to have meetings and webinars and stuff. That's just me. I'm sometimes alone in my life or lonely in my life, and maybe sometimes it's fun to have an activity like that. But at the same time, the way that I am, I'd rather like get myself back in check with the work that I had to do for my career, like that's just me. If I'm feeling like, hey, I'm justifying resting over the holiday, even though I didn't really rest, and then jumping back into meetings on that Monday, it's like you're trying to jump back into work, and I spent from 8 a.m. till just before noon dealing with the mental health. That's a long time. I did have like an hour break and in between, and I was so like shaking, my sweat stank. I was just like really uncomfortable with this intake process, and they're like, oh well, we do think that you qualify for counseling. I'm like, what? I had to qualify? My God. Like, I've been told so many times in Portland that I did not qualify, or that the intake was full already. Like, don't even come here. Just call first. And every week I called this place in Portland, and after going to a bunch of other places, and they said, nope, we're full. We're already full. We're already full. We're already full. Like, I called before the intake time. Like, if I were to go in person. I should have just gone in person. Like a normal person, but I got jeopardized, or I got in trouble with Department of Human Services. So all my services and my housing, I was not eligible. So one place the rent was flexible, like depending on if they got like grants. You pay a certain amount of rent, and if they spent less than their budget, then we'd get lower rent, and or we'd get refund checks. Like, literally, I was getting $5 checks from this one housing program because they were like a nonprofit. I thank them for that, guys. I mean, $5 is not that much, but it was maybe 5, maybe it was 10. But I also get penalized because the DHS workers say you have to get counseling. And I could not for the life of me get counseling. I went all over town. I was a student at Portland State. I went to every single counseling place. And even like years later, I had like, was it 4 pages on my old computer of a document of all these counseling places, all the entire Multnomah County and wherever Marion County. I jumped to Marion County, and I was denied by every single person, every single agency. And the ones that say, oh, we have a wait list for the wait list, that's like 3 years long. But, it's like I didn't get called back. But it sucks if your rent, say your rent is $1,000 and they say, oh, we can lower your rent to $800 or whatever. And you go and try to lower it. Say, we can't lower your rent because you're non-compliant with Department of Human Services. Non-compliant. And that happened to me in more than one way. So I was like, I'm being told I don't qualify for counseling. Oh, your condition is not severe enough. Oh, you have Medicaid. That was the biggest thing. Oh, we're not accepting Medicaid. So I'm already between a rock and a hard place because I was super impoverished. And I tried to get some family counseling and stuff, and I try to I hate when I'm dishonest. I try to be like, I used to call it, say, hi, me and my family have Medicaid, and we're looking to get an intake. Oh, sorry, we're not accepting any Medicaid patients right now. It's like, and it seems like discrimination to me. If I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, they would say yeah. If I said cash pay, they would say yeah. So I remember calling a place in Salem. I think it had horse therapy, and this guy was on the phone and said, "Oh, what's the name? What's the birth date?" Oh, I'm sorry. They're like, "Oh yeah, we have openings." This happened a lot. "Oh yeah, we have openings. What's the name and birth date?" And I'm thinking they're doing that process the intake. "Oh well, I just looked you up. You have Medicaid. Sorry, we have no openings for Medicaid." Please, I need it. I already got in trouble with my housing program and Department of Human Services, and they're not even connected. I don't even know how they have that information. It was just so upsetting. These counselors need to work with you. If they saw how many phone calls, and I was working, I was going to school full time, raising my kids. My ex-husband wasn't paying any child support. Like, why don't you go after him for something? There's only 24 hours in a day for a single parent, to do stuff. My car was breaking down all the time. People said, why didn't you take the bus? You know what? I did take the bus. I used to get bus tickets. But when your case manager at DHS is mean, like, you don't get the bus tickets and you don't know how to get the, what do you call it? You need the paperwork to get the honored citizens, which you still pay. What is it now? Like $50 a month or something for the honored citizens. It's still expensive if you don't have any money. So when those student loans I'm looking at are growing and growing and growing, gosh, I just kind of wish that I didn't try to go to school, that I just sat at home and watched TV on an antenna like my neighbors did, and get all these for Christmas gifts from all these agencies. And have people drive me around because I don't have a car. I see how my neighbors lived, and I said, I'm going to do the best of my ability. I'm going to try really hard to become self-sufficient. And I'm going to get the medical care for my kids and myself, and the health care for my kids, or the mental health care for my kids and myself, the spiritual health for me and my kids, for churches and 12-step meetings, and dental care for everybody. My DHS worker wrote me up for going to the dentist. Me and my kids made it a habit. The first year we were homeless, so we went to the dentist. We all went kind of around the same time. Because there's 2 kids, you might as well just go. And I had to go to Tualatin. This raggedy car. I had a dentist choose. I had a bunch of really severe dental issues from substance use and homelessness and poverty and not having any health care, not having any dental work, and not having a toothbrush for many years. Could you imagine not even having a toothbrush? That's how poor I was, guys. And it sucks to get penalized It sucks to get penalized. But yeah, I had a car. My dad was paying the insurance, and I had a stack of bus tickets they would send me in the mail until, like I said, I got a really, really bad case manager. They'd either send you a stack of bus tickets or they'd send you a pass, but you can only go so many years. When DHS send me a pass, you have kids, once they get over, 6 or whatever age, that's not free anymore, then you imagine spending $5, was it $2.50 one way, $2.50 back, $5 a day times 3 people, that's $15 a day. That gets to be expensive. Like, it's bad not to do one person, $5 a day. But yeah, I was taking the bus as much as I can. I had the kids falling asleep, trying to get groceries. The kids falling asleep in my arms, trying to carry bags while they sell plastic bags. I tried to carry. We had 3 people with backpacks on, and pouring down rain. I remember the time I had found a bag and I put my flip phone in my Columbia jacket, and he had an inner pocket, and I was soaked to the bone trying to get to a meeting in the dark, in the pouring down rain, standing outside alone in the city by myself, waiting for the bus. I didn't do that again. I was like, but I proactively started going to meetings at DHS, helped me get with the meeting schedule, but then they made that part of my plan. So then it's like, if you don't do the plan for DHS or your housing, which has their own set of rules, like, you do these things between now and the next time we meet you. So that's part of my experience, guys. So when I go into counseling, or when I go in to try to get a new doctor and they're telling me I'm fat, like, I've been eating kale. I have not eaten any meat since 2014. I hate when I go to counseling and they're like, oh, you sound intelligent, so I don't think you have any developmental disabilities or any, like, please. I'm going to try to tell this person. My mom told me they were going to put me in special education. Like, unless you, like, people can be well spoken because their parents taught them how to speak English, guys. My parents were scholars. There's a lot I could say on that right now, on developmental disabilities and not being able to socialize properly, talking too much, not knowing the social signs to stop talking, or if someone's getting upset about what I say, like I am right now, talking about too many things. So let's stop right there. Let's practice that. I'm born in the U.S. from parents that were born in the U.S., whether they were in segregated South or not, whether they went to school in segregated South or not. We have been here as enslaved persons, and we had the slaveholders, or the enslavers of persons, talking to us. There's not that I know of, nobody passing down any African language or religions or customs or culture or way of dress, way of doing hair. I have not received one. If we're gonna go back to the 80s and 90s, where we were trendy, rappers were wearing these kente cloth hats and things and these big Egyptian earrings, Why is my phone making this? Oh my god. My partner's leaving home, so I gotta get my tea ready. We were born, I want to say that I don't know. I'm going to look with you guys. 7 o'clock. Okay, 2023, 1600s. So that would be 400 years, 4.5, or I guess not 4.5, about 400 years of being in a culture that used to be natives, indigenous, native people that kind of got, not kind of, they definitely got shrunken down and say, and moved, and then having all these Europeans come over. As you see Americans speak, hear Americans speak, United States of Americans, and you hear people from UK speak. It's like the same origin, but different customs, different ways of doing things, different foods. But even though a lot of foods I feel like got passed down, when they see Europeans eating certain foods, they look like European foods. I saw my mom making foods, it looked like European foods. Whites and blacks in the South, I saw eating the same kind of foods. You know, mashed potatoes, grits, fried chicken, you know, collard greens. Like all these people like these foods, and casseroles and stews and stuff. And I've never eaten an African, any kind. And Africa is a continent, not a country. But I haven't eaten an African restaurant. I haven't eaten an Ethiopian restaurants, and I hardly saw any until I had to be consistent with my food planning because of my intolerances. Let me go back and do the. I'm just gonna say check in, you guys, for the. I'm gonna try to do the tags. I'll say Cyber Monday, nothing. I feel like I missed something here. Everything yesterday was overwhelming. I was sitting here in the dark, at like 5 o'clock yesterday evening. After running those errands and walking to the counseling place, which is here in town, trying to get an appointment, they're like, oh, you saw someone today. Oh, we're going to call you Tuesday or Wednesday. It's like, oh, they said today. It's like, yeah, I came in because my partner encouraged me to go in and not miss out on it. It's like, my phone is not working. T-Mobile was searching and out of service, and it hung up on a call. I missed several calls. I couldn't send texts. Look at all this Giving Tuesday stuff. Oh my gosh, how overwhelming. I'm going to stop this video and start another one. I'm going to go get my tea. But while you're still here, I will actually publish yesterday's. If and when I actually know what I talked about, I will give an edit to the title and the description. But before I end, I feel like I'm kind of not paying good attention to this. Before I end, there's a company that I had a product that ended up having an ingredient that was not disclosed online. And a lot of people end up asking this. And this ingredient could actually mess people up. This is just a topical. This could mess people's jobs or their, especially like government and military jobs up. And this is really not good. Like, I feel like it is a big no-no. These people are making tons of money, tons of sales. They're selling out of all this stuff, and they need to label their stuff. They labeled the actual bottle, and I didn't see it till I got back. My bottle of this stuff also spilled all over the box. I took a picture of the box and the product, and they said they wanted another picture of the product and the shipping label, which I have no idea where that is, because I knew that they would probably give me a hard time, which is unfortunate. If somebody is making this much money and selling out of all their products, and they're super heavily priced, and most of the stuff I already have at home that I get certain herbal products, and it's, wow, the price, it's like buying popcorn. It's like, it's fun, it's a novelty at the movie theater. You're not supposed to bring your own food, but it's like, wow, the markup is really high. It's none of my business. That's how they're making business, and that's how they're hiring employees and maintaining buildings. That's something that I'm not doing, right? So kudos to them, I guess. I don't know if I said that right. But I had the box over here for a long time in a plastic bag because it was covered with grease. They didn't put it in a Ziploc bag. They had like some paper, but not like absorbent material. Like sometimes you will get like an absorbent pad, you put it on something, you tape a bottle of oil up, and then you stick it in a zipper bag, put that in the box with more absorbent material. And you're supposed to ship it ground, liquids. Actually, I don't know what it is for oils, but some things you're supposed to only ship ground. So it spilled all over, and I sent something to it's like, oh, maybe we can help you out and give you something, but you need to send more pictures. And I never did that, and I was pretty disgruntled. And these people, they give too many suggestions, not just how these certain products work. Talk to your doctor. If it were me, I would say talk to your doctor, talk to your healthcare provider, talk to your herbalist, talk to whoever's your person that's certified and licensed to tell you whether this is a good idea or not. That's just me. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. But I get envious because I don't want to give medical advice to people, but I wanted a company like this separate from my medical practice, and I wanted my medical patients to be able to experience similar healthy, plant-based items. It hasn't worked for me. So I don't know how I got on this site, but I'm pretty sad. And I never sent anything, so I didn't get any coupon. They don't do any refunds, period. So they said you only get like store credit. I was like, well, I'm never going to order from them again because there's something I don't like about it. Besides me being envious of their success and their super guru status right now. But they were having all these sales the past 4 and now 5 days, and I have been on Facebook again. So all I'm seeing is all these women and men standing outside at 5 a.m. to wait for the store to open on Black Friday at when did it open? Like at 8 or 9 or 10. They were there hours early, camped outside, wrapped in blankets, having more sales. I just want to buy something to be like, this is a treat for me. You know, I'm one of those people, like, I didn't get any presents for my birthday. Thank God my friends took us out. But it was sad, guys. It was like, no card. Should I get a card from my... Oh, I take it back. I got a card from someone who doesn't like me. So I take it back. But it was sad to not even... I don't even think my kids didn't call. Like, sometimes I just want to buy something, but my income is so low, and then I get depressed and unmotivated, and then I don't do my admin work because I'm overwhelmed, and I have ADHD, and it's hard to focus. And then I hyper-focus on something else to take away the pain of the PTSD, which I've been spending my whole life taking away the pain, and the people that caused the pain got away with it. There was no repercussions or no consequences for the people that abused me for so many years, even when I was a child. And I don't want to go sit in a courtroom and do this and this and this, but it's like I want to like move on with my life and get the mental health care that I had asked for since the 90s. And I'm grateful to have my 12-step program, and I'm grateful to have a relationship with a higher power. I'm grateful to be able to self-talk and pray and meditate myself into I need to still do like a certain vibration, but me and my sibling were born into a certain vibration of our family that was extremely toxic, and I shook off the toxicity to treat others like that, but I didn't shake off the toxicity that's affecting me and spread that sympathetic nervous system and stress response down to my own kids. So I'm feeling horrible about that, and just fleeing these people all the time wasn't good enough. It's like in 12-step meetings, they say you do a geographical thinking you're going to run away from your, alcohol or whatever. Do geographical. Like, well, you got to focus on the root cause. So I was having my partner talk to me, and I was like, oh, there's a sale, and then there's an early sale for certain members, and I was like, let me find something that's like $5, so I can at least say, hey, I'm going to give myself this for Christmas, and look forward to that, because as a mother and a partner, without support and without other family, without elders, for decades is very trying. When me and my cousin were 21, we were the oldest women from my grandma's side, grandma, my mom, and my aunt. We were the oldest women at age 21. We were the oldest women in that generation from that family. My mom had died first, then my mom's sister, my Aunt Debbie, died, and then Grandma died a few years later. At age 21, I don't know if you could use the word matriarch, but I was the oldest. My cousin's a week older than me, so she was actually the oldest. Can you believe that? You feel like the weight of the shoulders is on your world. I was always trying to do this as a kid, but my mom was helping organize the family reunions. Nobody cared. When she died, they just kind of let it fade away, and then they started kind of having impromptu, and they didn't even invite me. I find out 15, 20 years later, like, oh yeah, we were having them, I just, kind of throw it together. Like, my mom was, I didn't even know, my mom didn't tell me she was helping create these huge events. Renting the shelter house, having indoor, outdoor, getting signed up for the food, find out who's going to be there, getting the t-shirts ready. I didn't even know until she died that she was doing that. So she must have been sneaking around on the phone or whatever she was doing. That's a big job, especially when you're out of state and you got to call the places, reserve the place months in advance, get invitations out to everybody. And the co-person didn't do it. They didn't ask me to do it. At the time, my mom had sent me a list of all the relatives. And not only that, when they started having the reunions again, they never even thought to invite me to it. And what didn't even cross their mind. And I can call these people 5 times a year, and you'll still see Facebook pictures of them having parties and stuff. I'm not invited. I'm not included. It's pretty sad. So that chapter of my life, I got to go through new horizons. I don't know if that's the right word. We had discussed several times living on a boat. Some of it was because we didn't have any money. People were giving away boats out here in the rivers here, the brackish waters. I may not want to live in a boat right now, but I always want to say I want to clean my house for some reason. I just want to clean and declutter just for cleaning and declutter. I got 2 weeks, by the way, if I want to sell anything on my eBay store. Nothing sold in over a month. But my partner said I could never live on a boat because I have too much stuff. Because I brought up this backpack. Let me get it for you. I brought this backpack back from Oregon a couple years ago on the airplane. Why does it have the leaders on it? I brought this backpack back. Uh-oh. Oh my god, I thought that was a banana. Oh my god, it smells like this. The other day, oh my god, I just changed the subject. The other day, I had the banana in one of my bags, and I said, make sure, why does it smell like fruit? I said, make sure you clean this out. Because you're gonna not use the bag in a while, you're gonna find a piece of fruit. This really smells like fruit. I don't know why. Here's one of my hats, guys. It's so cold today. Thank you. Oh my god. Anyways, it was a big piece of fabric, and this, I keep showing you, it was a big spool or whatever you call it. It's turned into this since then. I think it was in 2021. So this was like bigger, and I had maybe some more art supplies in there, and I was trying to carry, I think I had my medical equipment, and I was trying to carry it, but we had the cheapest tickets, so they said that we had to check our bags because not enough people volunteered. And I had like, he got mad at me, and I was like, I need to sit down. He goes, you need to go check your bags. Like, no, I need to take my valuables out of here. And I have my medical equipment that has like lithium batteries. You can't put that, you have to carry that in your carry-on. So I was pretty upset. Sometimes I have like personal paperwork, like you don't want to put like your passport and um, birth certificate and your medications. You don't want to put that in check-in. And you purposely say, I have one purse or laptop and one carry-on bag. And then they force you to put your stuff in the carry-on. You're not going to want stuff that you can't keep your eyes on the best you can. So he said I could never do it because of this. And I hate this, like my family say, you never can, you can never. And I'm like, this stuff is all craft supplies. This isn't like I have hair supplies and makeup bags and all kinds of high heels. In fact, there's a pair of flip-flops in there, like shower shoes, you know. And it really hurt my feelings. And, I mean, I've lived on boats, on sailboats before, multiple times in my life. It doesn't take much for me, you know, I want to have some soap, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant. Boom. Toothbrush, toothpaste. Boom. Washcloth, towel. Boom. Shower shoes. I want a book. I want something recovery related. And I want some food in either a cup or a mug or, you know, some eating utensils. Then you throw in some underwear, socks, at least one or two sweaters, like a hoodie kind of thing, a raincoat, and then your whatever pants, t-shirts and pants that you need. Like, that's just a typical thing. Like, if I were going to live on a sailboat and there's a shelf, my stuff would fit on the shelf. I kind of wish I did have hair and makeup stuff, but that's a whole nother story. And medications, yeah, and supplements and medications. So I would just take the basics. And I like comforting things, like like battery powered candles, musical instruments, craft supplies, and stuff like that. And I said I was gonna go like 30 minutes ago, so I'm gonna go and reheat my tea water since it's been so long. I would hope to get back on here because I was more depressed and knowing that I didn't have money and that there was so many things dealing with my health during this working sabbatical that I haven't really rested. I keep waking up like 3 or 4 in the morning or 5 on the weekends, and except that I've been sick, so Saturday I woke up a little bit later probably than I wanted. And I'm taking, if I wasn't on a working sabbatical from traveling to see patients all over, like 4-hour commute a day, I would not be able to make these appointments or do these intakes where you have to wait in line or do the phone calls and try and coordinate because you don't have the correct referrals and get the insurance people, like paperwork. People put the wrong address down. I told them the street and I wanted to be like, can you read that back to me? Anyways, just a whole bunch of stuff. But I am gaining weight a lot. I cut out the noodles and pretty much the nut butter and the salt, and my weight is going up. So I'm just under 200 pounds, like 7 pounds. I think I was 193. I can't remember. 193 and a half. And I'm eating kale, oranges. My oranges came, almost half of them were rotten. Like, I salvaged some. That was pretty sad, but I'll talk about that later. I was just experimenting and that blew more money. Peace, guys. Prayers for you that things will come to you the way that they need to and in the timing that you need them. Peace.